What's good, everybody? It's Kaige-O Gaming, and we are back with some more Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Now, last time we left off, we need to speak to Catherine, and then we're getting ready to go ahead and move out. What is it? The finger of God? Because anything it points at gets obliterated. So we need to let Catherine know that we're moving out so she can let, hey, what's his name? Zishka? So we can let the boys know that we're moving out and that they can prepare the ambush. So I did notice that they just released hardcore mode, and hardcore mode seems pretty crazy in this game. I don't know if we'll, maybe sometime way down in the future we'll do another run of this game, but not anytime soon. This game has been huge. Huge. It is.
It's happening. The Praggers are leaving for Sedlets.
At last, I won't have to wash the Cuman's asses anymore.
Tell Zizka everything, so they're ready for the ambush.
I will. But be careful once it all starts. I wouldn't want Dry Devil blowing your brains out by mistake.
Alright, leave the camp with cats. Let's do it. The game's gotta be coming close to an end. It's gotta be. I'm excited. I hope it's a good ending. I hope it's everything we've been waiting for. I did have a friend play, and he beat this game quite a while ago. He said, now apparently there's multiple endings. You can get multiple endings, but apparently he wasn't too happy with his ending. He said he felt like he got the bad ending, and he was a little disappointed. So, I guess we'll kind of see what happens here. I hope we don't get the bad ending. I have no idea what determines it, but let's do this thing. We can set off.
All right, I'm ready. We can get out of here.
The sooner the better. Deserters, traitors, murders. I'm getting too old for all this. I still can't believe that Kryle betrayed us. Why the fuck didn't I notice anything earlier?
Ah, don't worry about it. He was one wily bastard.
In any case, the company's missing a corporal now. And I was thinking the post should go to someone capable. You may be new, but you've been a real help to me. And the lads will obey you. I'll make sure of that. What do you say?
What are a corporal's duties?
Not much. I take care of the weapons and powder, and the pay, too. But I need someone on hand who would muster the men, hand out tasks, and so on. The main thing is to make sure nobody slacks off, and not to come running to me with every stupid gripe.
Well, I assume a corporal has better pay.
You'd get a bit more, eh? But don't expect to be building a palace in Old Town Square.
Sure.
I don't know what to say.
Say yes! What else, you dolt?
It'll be an honor, sir.
You can stick the sir where the sun don't shine. You must know by now I'm not keen on formalities. Well, let's leave it be now. Otherwise we won't get out of here before dark. Right, Corporal. Order the men to get onto the wagons.
Aye, sir.
Sedlets awaits!
Well, I kind of like this dude, man. I feel a little bad.
Jumps him from behind a tree. But Pa, who's already got his blood up, just grabs him by the horns, wrestles him to the ground, and then starts giving birth to such a hiding. The fur is flying off. Wait, fellas. After Pa was done with it.
Straight knock them out. Are we gonna have to kill cats?
Now you're gonna die.
Die for that, you bastard! A death for a death!
They have no idea what's hitting them. Hope he doesn't lose any of our main people. Go ahead, turn around, big guy. Ah, we messed that
Bleeding like a stuck pig. Bleeding, are we? Come on, then.
Now you'll die!
You'll pay for that.
We're going to gut you!
What is it, Mutt?
No, Katz is dead.
Right between the eyes.
Oh, he's just unconscious, thank God.
Too slow.
Come in!
Fuck that.
Here's the last one!
Was he the only one who came on the attack? Kubienka?
Good hitting like a stuck pig! That's a lot of blood.
Adder unconscious.
Should stop it.
Berta. Mercenary Pike. Is anybody actually dead? There's Janos. Okay, it seems like everybody's getting up. Oh, Katz is alive. Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. What happened to him? Why does he look like that? Dry Devil.
You fucking traitor.
Calm down, or you'll faint again. You've lost a lot of blood.
What now? What are you going to do with me?
Well, you're a good man. You deserve an honorable death.
A commander should fall with his men. You're in for an arse kicking, you piece of shit.
Oh, poor guy, man. He didn't stand a chance. We couldn't let him go. We couldn't let him go.
There. It's done.
What's the matter? Aren't you happy?
It just doesn't seem right, what we did to those people.
Not people, the enemy. Remember that. Trust me, you'll sleep a lot better. By the way, Brabant has already brought up his promised reinforcements.
What are they like?
Well, you'll see for yourself. But now, we have to get out of here first.
I'll come with you.
Yeah, the sooner we make ourselves scarce, the better.
To the task, then.
Alright, let's see what happens.
Seems like we poked a hornet's nest with that ambush, eh?
We did. And that means the Devil's Den won't be safe much longer.
Another reason not to stick around there and attack Malashov.
Well, we're in luck. Ada's just returned from a scouting mission, and he says von Burkov's at the castle.
And what about Brabant's men? You were saying you don't like the look of them.
I just don't trust them somehow. But I'll admit that Frenchman surprised me. They're no greenhorns.
We'll see how they fare in battle.
Indeed we will. We'll soon get going. Get ready, and then we'll plan what's next.
Prepare for battle. Let's see what everybody got to say. Oh, he can just teach us stuff. Okay. Who else do we got?
Pardon me.
There's the Dry Devil. Mercenary. Who the heck is this guy?
Grüß Gott. Was brauchst du, mein Herr?
Excuse me, but I'd like to ask you how many men you have with you, sir.
Meine Truppe ist nicht groß, but for your purposes, I think it will suffice. Außer den Leuten here in the camp, I also have Soldaten nearby, and if need be, they will go with us. Doch wir werden abwarten, according to what Hauptmann Schischka says.
Okay.
What did you agree with Goodman Brabant? How much did he promise you?
Enough to risk meinen Hals, my neck, for you. Half of the reward in coin, in advance, and half in booty on the spot. You pay for any losses of the horses and archers. If your plan fails, you shall pay us the rest of the money we would otherwise get.
So you already know what the plan is?
All I know is you want to capture some small fortress. You get inside, we take care of the rest. Kein Stürmen der Mauern und no sieges. Just a quick, clean job for my men.
Okay.
What weapons do you have? What can we rely upon in combat?
Meine Truppe has the power of eine Lanze, and my people are experienced archers. We know how to take care of ourselves.
And how many of you are there?
Here in the camp, I have my Armiger Hagen Trott, 2 free archers and a combat hostler. Alles Gute und unerschütterliche Jungs.
Okay.
What experience do your men have? Where have they fought before?
Das ganze letzte Jahr we fought in Italy for Sir Musio Sforza, and we wintered near Milan.
Who were you fighting against? And did you win?
Unfortunately, this time Il Capitano Barbiano was luckier and beat our Musio in battle. But it was not a bad year. Italien ist ein großartiges Land. I think we shall head south again in the autumn. I'm certain Milan will soon rise against Florence, and there'll be a new war. Möge Gott mit dir sein.
Okay.
My God! Ah, the simple joys of life, eh, pal?
How have you been getting on?
Well, I finally got my shit together. A nice, big, solid one.
Are you better?
That's what I just said. Anyway, do you think I'd miss out on the chance to hack a chunk off onto his arse?
You're not the only one. After what he did to Samuel's people.
I'm more pissed off about how he handed our arses to us at Rabors. He chased us off like rabbits, the fucker.
His voice is cool.
How could von Burgov have found out about our meeting in Rabors? Could someone have betrayed us?
I don't know. But there's no point in trying to figure it out. It wasn't any of the captured lords. And if any of their men talked, well, we'll never know now.
Did Zizka tell you how he plans to attack Malashov?
I think it's obvious. We have to lure von Bergau into a trap, then quietly grab him.
Then what do we need that cannon for?
Now, in case our ruse doesn't go according to plan.
Which it probably won't.
And I'm itching to fire that fucking contraption. These toys that use gunpowder pretty much even the odds. But they cost as much as a virgin whore. Aye, if we'd had one of them fat beauties with us at Snoimo, that would have been something.
Okay. Very nice, very nice. Who is this guy?
Pfui! Wasch dich! Du siehst schrecklich aus.
Okay. These are all just like the mercenaries, I guess. So who we got inside? Shishka, that's how we continue. I'd like to wash ourselves.
What is it? Can't just leave this lying.
Catherine wanted to speak. I feel bad, man. Cat seemed like a decent guy. At least we gave him an honorable death.
Are you coming with us to Malashov?
And what would I do there?
What's wrong? Are you upset?
Am I supposed to be happy? Ah, for Christ's sake, you're all the same. Why do I even bother trying? You'll all just end up getting killed.
If you're talking about that plan, well...
Jan still thinks it'll be easy to capture von Berghoff. But I heard what Ada said.
What did he say?
That Otto von Berghoff has that fortress full of fresh mercenaries, armed to the teeth. My God! I should have slit his throat that time I had the chance at Trotsky.
We must defeat and capture von Bergov.
Aye, there's always some we must with you fellas.
Look, if we succeed, we'll free our king.
Who gives a damn about some king?
Everyone. He'll drive Sigismund away and end the war.
Ha! You lot, and your big plans.
What's the matter? You didn't mind what we were doing until now. And all of a sudden...
Until now we chose our foe. One we stood a chance against. And engaged them when we had an edge. And for some time now we've been getting into wilder and wilder enterprises. But go. If you must. And try not to die there. Damn it. In the meantime, I'll wait at the fortress in Sukdal. That's where we'll meet.
Now just this.
Okay. I'm confused. I'm assuming she's worried about everybody. I don't exactly... Obviously, she's close with Zhishka. I don't know who else she's close with. Oh, it's Hans. What's up, dude?
Henry! For fuck's sake! Just when you got out of that carnage in Kuttenberg, they sent you right to the enemy's encampment to snoop around. I was really worried about you. I prayed to Our Lady the Protector to watch over you.
Thank you, friend.
I'm truly delighted she heard my pleas and you've come back in one piece. Among other things, I kept thinking, I haven't properly thanked you yet for coming to Malashov to get me.
No need to thank me.
I beg to disagree, my brave and faithful companion. First and foremost, be it known that if you should ever similarly find yourself in captivity, I swear before our Lord Jesus Christ that I shall come for you as you came for me. And secondly, I have something here for you. A truly knightly reward for your knightly deed. A hunting bow that has no equal in the province. I hope it'll brighten your thoughts after all those horrors. It can fell the mightiest buck deer and enchant many a doe. And besides, it has attached to it an enlightening history.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you, friend.
History?
Please enlighten me, O noble sir.
According to legend, this bow belonged by right to Margrave Jobst of Moravia, who, however, was not worthy of it. And so, fate decreed that it fell into the hands of a proper knight.
What are you saying?
When I found out that Jobst would gladly leave me locked up, it got my blood up. So, to pay him back, I relieved him of the bow in Raborsh, and it was immediately clear to me that that bow should go to none other than you.
Nice. A just reward.
That is certainly... just, I'd say.
I knew we'd see eye to eye.
Okay.
What happened when von Bergov hauled you off after the Nabokov battle?
It was a dreadful journey. Jesus, don't even remind me. It was a bit better in Malashov. Apart from being locked up, of course.
Did anything happen along the way?
No, but it took ages to get to Malashov. 4 or 5 days in that god-awful cart. I was travelling with von Owlet's minions. They hauled me in one of the wagons. They treated my wounds a bit, but I was still in a really bad way. After that battle and all.
What did they do with you in Malashov?
Nothing much, actually. They took care of my wounds, and then stuck me in a room with Brabant. But they treated me decently, as befits a noble. Von Bergov came asking questions a couple of times, but that was about it. Only I almost went mad from being cramped in that damned room. It's a good thing you got me out of there.
Okay.
What was the problem with the room?
That I couldn't get out of there. You saw yourself when you came for me, didn't you? It's just that since Nabokov, when they shot the tower right down on my head and I was stuck there, well, since then, I don't feel well in cramped spaces.
That's fair.
Actually, I never did. I always preferred to be outdoors.
Explains your
But
poaching.
since Nabokov, it's worse than ever. I had a feeling the roof would fall on my head again and I'd be buried alive.
PTSD.
They didn't let you out at all. But you were in that room for ages.
No. They let us walk around the fortress a bit. We even went out for a ride twice, but they watched us like hawks. Not a chance of escape. But most of the time we were in that room. Like I say, I'm really glad you got me out of that hole.
What did von Burgov want from you?
Just the usual courtesies. The captivity of nobles has to observe certain formalities, you know? It's not like they could just throw you in some hole. They behaved fairly respectfully, but of course he was fishing for information. About Radzig and Hanush, and especially Jobst. What they're planning, how many men they have on the field, who else they're negotiating with and that.
And what did you tell him?
Nothing that he didn't already know. I played as dumb as the village idiot. I only told him they sent us with that message and discussed the rest when we were gone.
And did he swallow it?
I think he suspected I was bluffing a bit. And then he tried to loosen my tongue by letting me go hungry for a while. But he soon gave up when he saw he was getting nothing more from me.
Good
My
job,
word.
Hans.
Nice work keeping him at bay.
For real.
I understand. It's a bit awkward for you that the nobility lives in castles.
That's a fact. Once I get my hands on my estates, I'll build a new castle that only has huge rooms and lots of spacious courtyards. And above all, no secret passages.
Great. I'm really looking forward to this new castle of yours.
You can be the castellan or something. Don't worry, I won't forget you. I'll even have a forge built so you feel right at home.
But the main thing is, you're alive and kicking. And back with us.
Indeed.
Alrighty. Oh, shoot.
What do you make of this Brabant fellow?
He's unquestionably a remarkable knight, that Vakelin. He rambles on a lot, though. My head nearly burst listening to him sometimes. Although it was better than being stuck there alone. Otherwise, he seems to me like a bold and worldly gentleman, if a little obsessed with wealth.
Okay.
I agree. He seems quite likeable. And he's got a score to settle with Sigismund, like we do.
He certainly has.
I guess we'll see.
Why is it so important to capture Otto von Burgov?
Isn't it obvious?
Pray enlighten me.
Look, Otto von Burgov is the supreme chamberlain of this land. He's in charge of all the royal towns and monasteries, meaning he is worth his weight in silver.
So, it's ransom we're after?
Not quite. Von Burgov is one of the leaders of the League of Lords against the king. If we want the lords to free our king, we have to force them to do it. And capturing von Burgov would be the best way to do that.
And to think, until recently, you couldn't give a damn about politics. How does Zizka want to attack Malashov?
He didn't tell me much, but I got the impression it'll be a bit different compared to the usual tactics. A major operation.
Such secrecy. It almost seems like he doesn't trust us.
True. Zizka's being damn tight-lipped. But I don't blame the man. After Raborsh, Sigismund had a lot of our people arrested, and I'm sure a lot more are frightened. Any of them could betray us.
You think there could be a spy amongst us?
Doubtful. All of us here would gladly stab Sigismund in the gut.
Or that traitor von Burgov?
Brabant and I still owe him quite a bit of payback. I can't wait to see the look on his face when we take him captive.
Okay.
What do you think about the Dry Devil?
Hinek? I think he's a right bastard. But I'd rather fight with him than against him.
So why does Zizka trust him so much?
Hinek is Jobst's ally, and Sigismund is their common enemy.
That's fair.
Are you going to bake bread?
Alright. Do we have anybody else we can talk to? Samuel.
I assume you won't be joining our offensive, right?
Under other circumstances, I would avoid battle. You're right. But this is personal. Otto von Berghof is responsible for that slaughter in Kuttenberg. It was he who advised Sigismund to attack my people.
So you want revenge?
They plundered the synagogue, murdered dozens of people. That Mamsa must pay. I will play with him like a cat with a mouse. He will beg for mercy, for a quick death.
I understand.
I understand how you feel. Once I get my hands on Markvart, there's no telling what I'll do.
I'm going to kill von Berkhoff. Even if Shiska is against it. Fuck him! It was I who got the money for everything. So no one is going to tell me what I can and cannot do. What
Oh,
about
God.
you? Why are you willing to fight?
Otto von Berghoff deserves punishment for everything he's done.
So we see eye to eye on him.
Aye. Von Berghoff is nothing more than a swine, brother. And if there's anyone that can get him, then it's Zizka and the devil. That's why I'm going with them to Malashov.
Okay. Nobody upstairs. Godwin.
What do you know about the attack on Malashov?
You're asking the wrong fella, Henry.
Do you think we stand a chance of taking von Berghoff?
Well, if anyone can do it, it's Zizka and the devil. Although I'm not saying it'll be easy. Or that I approve.
How's that?
God doesn't lead us by the hand. We have to find our own path to him. Or at least try to. And I'm not sure just how much divine mercy that pair deserve.
I heard you fought in the Battle of Kosovo. Is that true?
Why wouldn't it be?
I heard it was a horrible massacre, and there were no survivors.
Horseshit, lad. That's just horseshit. It was a massacre. Aye. A terrible slaughter. But the other side lost many men as well.
So how did it happen? Tell me. I don't think I can quite imagine such a massive battle. How many soldiers were there?
Countless, lad. I'd never seen so many take the field. At least 10,000 men on our side. And Sultan Murad must have had at least twice as many with
Imagine
him.
fighting a battle like that in this game.
So how did the battle go?
Lord forgive me, but it went to shit.
Could you be more specific?
Specific? Well, I only know what people said after the battle. And when you're in the midst of it, you don't see what's happening around you.
Which was?
Well, it's hard to describe. Attacks are followed by retreats, and between that, only fatigue and dust.
So what happened?
When the battle began, the Serbian cavalry crushed the Turkish left flank. It looked good for us. But alas, that was just the beginning. Soon, we got ours too. We fought valiantly, but they pushed us back, and in the meantime, they hit our center. The Sultan's Janissaries attacked us there. Damn devils, and raised all hell. Rivers of blood soaked the ground.
How could you survive something like that?
You can't give up, and death isn't an option. But then a rumor spread that Prince Lazar had fallen, and everything began to crumble. But he was a tough old warrior of the Nemanjic royal blood. He wouldn't give up just like that. With an arrow in his eye, he climbed his horse and rode straight for the Sultan. Well, that's how he saved us. The battle then lasted until evening. But no one had the strength to force the enemy to retreat.
Oh my gosh.
And where did you fight?
In the saddle. I'm a nobleman, after all. But I lost 3 horses under me. So in the end, I also fought on foot. Most of us mercenaries were on the left flank, under the command of Vladko Vukovic. But he soon got wounded, and the men began to flee. I mean, if it wasn't for Nicholas Gabriel, we wouldn't be talking here today.
And who was that?
The commander of our company. A born warrior, and a good friend. In fact, Zizka reminds me of him a bit sometimes. In any case, the fact that Gabriel had taken a command at that point meant our flank did not buckle, and the Ottoman rabble did not cut us to pieces as we fled.
So who won in the end?
The battle lasted all day, and in the end no one knew who had won, because both sides left the field. Only later did we find out. Prince Lazar had fallen there alongside all his Serbian nobility. Still later came the news that Lazar had been captured and executed by the Turks the day after the battle.
They executed a prince?
Aye. They beheaded him. Because someone had slit the Sultan's throat like a piglet.
So you didn't win?
It's hard to say. We held our own against the odds and survived. Only without their prince. It was just a matter of time before Serbia fell into the new Ottoman Sultan's lap. Fortunately, I didn't stick around to see it. All the same, even as I'm telling it, it strikes me what an adventure it was. I suppose time heals all kinds of shit. In the end, you forget the bad things. And yet, I can only thank God that Nicholas Gabriel was there.
Your captain?
Aye, him. We actually became friends of sorts. He even taught me one of his sword tricks.
He did?
Aye, really. I could even show you sometime. A memory of the good man who saved my arse on that day.
Nice. Alrighty. Well, there's somebody drunk. But we gotta go back down anyways. I want to see if Janos or Adder will talk. I'm assuming this is one of them. This looks like Adder.
How are things looking at Malashov? How is Malashov?
Właśnie stamtąd wróciłem. Jedno wiem na pewno.
Oh, we can
Ten zamek
understand.
ma kurwa słuszne obwarowania.
Could you slow down a bit? I'm trying to understand you, but I can't keep up.
O co ci chodzi?
This is going nowhere. I need Uher to translate.
Oh. Well, we understood him, kinda. Understood him enough. Brabant.
What about your mercenaries? Are they good?
Ne t'inquiète pas, mon ami. Le Seigneur Morgenstern can always be relied upon.
Who is this Morgenstern?
C'est un bon ami à moi. We met years ago au Grand Tournoi de Lorraine, at the estate of the Duke there.
Can he be trusted?
Le Chevalier Morgenstern is not only a warrior, but also a serious patron of the hearts. A man of renown.
Okay.
How did you find Morgenstern?
Pendant que vous étiez chez les Hongrois, I went to Kettenberg. Le Chevalier Morgenstern was with Sigismund. But he turned him down because, le roi n'a pas d'argent. The king has run out of coin.
So he's just an ordinary mercenary?
Not ordinary. He's a renowned condottiere.
Okay.
Where does this Morgenstern come from?
From Broswig. His ancestor fought for Emperor Charles. A good house, mon ami.
So why is he earning a living as a mercenary?
C'est une triste histoire. He lost considerable estates due to his relatives and battles in Eastern Prussia.
So he became impoverished?
In truth, it was more his passion for art that led him to ruin.
Sir Vaculin, you've had an exciting life. Tell me some stories.
Bien sûr. Your interest is gratifying and quite understandable.
Where does the name Brabant come from?
That is simple. My compatriots call me that because I am originally from Brabant province. And, the name stuck. One day, I shall tell you about my place of birth, but I am sure you will long to hear about the conquest of Arezzo, yes? Or would you rather hear how I saved the King of France from certain death?
Why not both?
Arezzo sounds interesting.
And so it was. That is where I earned my knighthood from the great Enguerrand de Concy himself, the commander of our Naples campaign. Enguerrand arranged his forces for battle, and I was put in charge of one of the cavalry units. Out of nowhere, the enemy appeared on our unprotected flank, and Enguerrand set me to hold them back so our main force could regroup. But I saw a gap in the enemy's main phalanx. I sounded the charge and sped forwards.
Wasn't that rather risky?
Un chevalier français fears nothing.
Very risky.
I reckon King Sigismund would think otherwise after Constantinople.
That was completely different. Alors, I caught them by surprise. I hacked my way to their standard and broke through all the way to the enemy's reserves. My attack sowed confusions in the enemy's ranks that encouraged the overlords who raced to join me, scattering everything in their path. And that is how we won the famous victory at Arezzo. Seeing that the force that was supposed to protect them had been routed. The city then surrendered to us. No doubt you had no inkling at Maleshov what a knight you had the honor to meet. And of course my feats on the field of battle do not end there.
Yeah, this guy's definitely full of himself.
A bold maneuver.
Quite right. Courage is my middle name. Just as Monsieur Chapon says, Audantes Fortuna Juva. That day I was the bravest of them all and won the day.
So you disobeyed your commander and left your flank exposed? Your attack could have ended in a total fiasco. You were lucky the others came to your assistance and your entire force didn't collapse.
I hear thee speaking, but you are still wet behind the ears. So, I can forgive you. In short, I saw an opportunity and took it. Moments like that can decide entire wars.
What did your commander have to say?
He made me a knight and sent me to the royal court to inform the sovereign of our triumph.
I reckon he wanted to get you out of his hair.
Do not talk nonsense.
Okay.
What other feats have you performed in battle?
Oh, many, mon ami. For one battle does not make a warrior. It would take a week to recount them all, so I will just tell you about my second greatest feat. On the Italian field, we faced John Hawkwood, a ruthless Englishman and a fearsome warrior. Surrounded, we were at his mercy. Night fell, and we knew he would attack at dawn, and that would be it. But just then, Providence put an idea in my mind.
Did you set some kind of trap?
You could say so. Unobserved, I mounted my horse and set off to find help. And, La Dame Chance was exceedingly kind to me that day. As I rode away, by chance, I stepped it off of our horses. Thinking we were trying to break through, Les Anglais went to head them off. But while the English were occupied with my city, our units managed to flee. I saved many men from certain death that night, and many lords from the disgrace of capture. Needless to say, I was generously rewarded for my valor.
That is indeed incredible. But you were just trying to flee, weren't you?
I wanted to bring reinforcements, but as I say, I merely follow Providence, and she guides my steps, from triumph to triumph, wherever I go. Stick close to me, Henri, and Providence will favor you too.
Yeah, this guy seems full of it.
How did you save the King of
full of
France?
With Providence as my guide, mon ami, I came to the court from the field of battle to bring news of our victory, because, and remember this, the bearer of good news is always rewarded and cherished. But the king was in a bad mood and did not wish to be disturbed. Maybe I thought the news of our victory will dispel his ill humor.
How could you tell him if he didn't want to be disturbed?
Ha! I climbed up to his balcony and into his chambers to surprise him with the joyful tidings. And lo and behold, the king was writhing and gasping on the floor, overcome by one of his fits. Wasting not a moment, I dashed over to him and unblocked his throat, thus saving his life. In return, the king bestowed on me the title of a chanson, or cupbearer, and other generous gifts. And I then spent a while in his service at court. Unfortunately, though, even the king's favor does not last forever, and minor mistakes can come to overshadow good deeds.
What happened?
What happened at court that led to you being out of favor?
Well, perhaps I shall tell you some other time. Would you not rather hear about the glorious duel between Le Gris and Carouge?
Tell me what happened.
Tell me what happened at court that caused you to lose favor.
Ah, a major setback and a gross injustice, mon ami. It is an unhappy memory, because it was the first time that La Dame Chance abandoned me.
It's nothing to be ashamed of. We can all learn from our failures. And I bet even your failures make for great stories.
Oui, that is certainly true. Very well, then. I suffered a combination of misfortunes all at once. But bad luck in business and on a hunt were the worst of all.
Okay.
You were in
This guy has
business?
a bunch to say.
Of course. I come from Brabant province, home to the greatest entrepreneur of all. My birthplace gave me an
I
arrival
guess this is more
nose
of a
for
story
corn
episode.
and the
I go
reputation
get
of
to
a
know these
financial
people before we
expert.
go into battle with them.
I was nicknamed the Seer of Louvain, and also the End of Midas. That is, until I persuaded an important nobleman to invest a large sum in maritime trade with Africa. All the ships he bought sank in a tempest. He had to sell off part of his estates to pay off his creditors. Of course, he wrongly blamed me for everything and turned many influential courtiers against me. But my advice was sound. He was simply punished by God for fornicating with every wench from the Pyrenees to Brittany, bragging about it and thus bringing shame on his gentle wife. I told him as much, but some people never admit their mistakes and prefer to blame others.
A sea voyage from France to Africa? You must have known that was a massive risk.
A risk, perhaps, but think of the fortune to be made. A man must think big if he wants to achieve greatness, no?
Big ideas often lead to big trouble. Storms, pirates, sea monsters, uncharted waters. It was a disaster waiting to happen, Baron. You should have tried the Baltic trade route.
You are right. That would have been safer. But that is under Hanseatic control and there is too much competition. Africa, mon ami, that is the land of opportunity. The Arabs sell to the Portuguese via Ceuta and they sell on to us. Just imagine selling further and trading directly with African kings, cutting out all of those middlemen. Remember this, because one day I will be proven right.
Okay, let's hear about the hunting incident.
What was the hunting incident?
We were out in the royal hunting grounds when I caught sight of a white stag. There had long been rumors about it, so imagine the prestige I would have gained by getting it. I set off after it, pierced its flank with arrows, and unleashed the hounds to finish it off. When I arrived, it turned out that my aunt had not killed a stag but the horse of a lady, a court favorite of the queen's. I fell out of her favor, and all the doors became closed to me.
You were damned unlucky. But that could have happened to anyone, couldn't it?
Quite right. I'm glad you are sensible enough to agree with me. A misfortune like that, which could indeed happen to anyone, would make lesser men roll with laughter. But the other lords were afraid I would outshine them, so they were waiting for a chance to get rid of me. And that chance came along, unfortunately.
I think this guy's full of it.
Luckery and Cargouche. Sounds like a pair of jesters.
En aucun cas. Jacques le Gris and Jean de Carouge. These two great knights were in a legal dispute over an estate. But above all, when de Carouge was on a campaign, Le Gris fornicated with his wife.
Oh my gosh.
She claimed that he had raped her, while he said he had seduced him. And because everyone swore to their own truth on the Bible, the matter had to be settled by combat. First, they jousted. Then they fought on foot with sword and axe. Le Gris thought victory was in his grasp, but de Carouge suddenly pounced on him, wrested him to the ground, and beat him so terribly that he knocked off his helmet and cuirass. Even so, Le Gris refused to admit his guilt, and de Carouge drove a dagger through his neck. And if you promise not to tell, I will let you into a secret about that dagger.
Tell me the secret. I promise I'll keep it to myself.
Bien. As I say, the Carouge killed Le Grive with a dagger. And I found that dagger in the mud after the duel. A blessed blade, an instrument of divine justice. The dagger that ended the last trial by combat France ever witnessed. An item of great value. So, I had several copies made and sold them to rich French noblemen. That is how I first came into wealth. And I used the coin to buy the horse and armor I needed to set off in pursuit of glory in battle.
Hey man, if it works, it works.
Ah, that was a good idea. I'd never have thought of that.
You still have a lot to learn, mon ami. But you're young, you have plenty of time. Just keep your mind and eyes open, like I did. It was one of the greatest things I ever saw, and I have seen a lot. Believe me, half of France came to watch, including the king himself, who then banned trial by combat in France forever. I later told the story to anyone who was interested. One of my listeners, a certain Froissart, wrote my icon down and became famous. I could have written it myself, of course, but I am happy to help others find success.
Oh gosh.
Tell me about Brabant province. Is it far from here?
Quite far. From Bohemia, you would go to Bamberg and then follow the river Main until it joins the Rhone. Then you sail down the Rhone until it reaches the sea. And there, between the river and La Flandre, you will find Brabant, with its wealthy cities. Anvers, Bruxelles, Louvain, and many others. But those three cities are the equal of Paris, Rome, or your Prague. Both the Dukes of Burgundy and the Imperial Princes would like to annex our land to theirs, because its flourishing trade has made it rich. But like everywhere else, you can only come into wealth by birth or by enterprise, which is how I did it.
Okay.
How did you end up here?
Leaving the court with a modest sum, I launched to visit faraway lands. I traveled a lot, spending time in various countries, and having many great adventures. When I learned that l'Empereur Charles, that great friend of France, had built the magnificent city of Prague in Bohème, I had to see it.
So people in foreign countries speak highly of Prague?
Bien sûr! It was abroad that I heard of King Wenceslas' Silver City and its reputed vast wealth. I bought the abandoned Miskowitz estates and shares in the Kuttenberg mines. And for a time I settled here to provide for myself and wait for King Wenceslas, whom I wished to serve. But even here fate did not let me be. When Sigismund brought his army to the city, I appointed myself to lead its defense. For how better to make King Wenceslas aware of me than by saving his beloved city? Victory was assured, but the burghers had other ideas. The city was handed over to the enemy, and I with it, stripped of my possessions. I languished in captivity, until fate again stepped in by sending you to Malishov.
Okay.
Sir Vaclin, I'm surprised how well you speak our language. Where did you learn it?
Where do you think? Here, of course. Ce n'était même pas difficile. Perhaps I have already mentioned that I am guided by Providence? She endowed me with many talents, mastery of language among them. I can communicate almost everywhere in the world, and learn every new tongue in a trice. I now speak French, German, Italian, Latin, Hungarian, and Czech. Some English, though that is only a necessary evil.
Thanks for sharing your stories with me, Sir Vaclin.
Alrighty. Jeez.
What do you think of our band of outcasts?
Well, I cannot say I expected to end up in this kind of
This guy's
company.
got a lot to say.
I am more used to royal courts or at least wealthy burghers. But a man must accept his destiny as it comes.
Okay.
What do you think of Zhizka?
Le Chevalier Jan? Well, he's not doing badly for a minor nobleman, but I think he will never be accepted among the higher nobles and knights. That takes a lot more. Mark my words. I am a good judge of people.
What does this mean?
I can't get Catherine out of my head. I don't understand her. I'm sure you have more experience of love than me.
Oh.
What do you make of her? Why is she with us?
As she sits
you're
right behind us.
I am a connoisseur of love like I am of wine. But for my tastes, Mademoiselle Catherine is of somewhat aged vintage. Though, I have to admit she's full-bodied and fragrant.
That's not really what I meant. Why is a woman like her with us?
Là est la question. I had the feeling something terrible happened to her in the past.
So do I. But what?
I have no idea. But she is fond of you, if you ask me. Try asking her, and maybe something will come of it. L'amour.
Oh, come on.
I am a good judge of people, trust me. L'amour.
Okay.
What do you think of Sir Hynek?
Ah, le diable sec. A capable chevalier. But I do not trust him. There is treachery in his eyes.
You think so?
My instinct rarely lets me down.
How do you get on with Janosch and Adder?
Oh, those two. Once in Kuttenberg, I also had a servant who pretended not to understand me and thought I did not understand him when he spoke German in my presence. But he was wrong. He is no longer my servant.
What's that got to do with him?
How do you get on with Sir Hans?
Oh, young Lord Chapon may be inexperienced and hot-headed at times, but he's the one of the few here who knows how to play chess. And I have a great respect
It'd be cool
for
if you could
chess
play
players.
chess in this
Needless
game.
to say, he has not managed to beat me yet. Godwin and Jeska can also play. Ah, and that devil in press clothing beat me. Merde.
Okay.
Have you met Godwin?
The priest who is very skilled with a sword. Priests should not be such good swordsmen. That is what knights like me are for. In addition, he can play chess just as well as he wields a sword. And in drinking wine, he beats even the best Frenchmen. A man of talents. Or perhaps the devil is behind it.
All right, Samuel.
Have you had the chance to meet my half-brother yet?
Samuel. It is strange that he joined your, our group. It is not usual for his, people. But he's certainly a good reinforcement.
And last but not least.
What do you think of Kubienka?
A good warrior. But he has no morals and no manners, like all mercenaries.
Well, I don't think he cares much about that.
And that is just the problem. How can you trust a man who does not want to be a knight?
Oh, jeez.
Tell me, how did the siege of Kuttenberg go?
Ah, mon ami, poorly, poorly. But what could I do? Stand down from leading the defense like a coward? After all, I had to live up to my reputation. And at the time, it did not look hopeless at all. I thought it would be enough to stall Sigismund for a while before the Allied army arrived. And that would not have been so difficult.
Only no army arrived.
Précisément. The hope for a swift end melted away, and the courage of the burghers along with it. I, who fought in 5 countries, was relieved of command, arrested, and handed over to Sigismund.
The disrespect.
What other countries have you fought in?
In Italy, against the English, here of course, and I will tell you about the others another time. In the meantime, however, I can pass on some of my experience to you. After all, I am not getting any younger, so it is time to pass my wisdom on to future generations.
What can you
I'd
teach
like
us?
to learn.
It will take some time. Acquiring my art came at, especially now when I have been injustly stripped of my soul. Well,
Polearm, swordsman. Okay. I don't think we really need it. see about getting this.
What
Let's
will
see
you
what he's
do
got to
now?
say first.
We'll give it some thought and see. Hopefully we'll know better when you come back from Liechtenstein.
Oh, okay. Well, that's been done. Oh, this is all old stuff, huh?
Aren't you worried about Catherine?
Do you think I should be?
I don't know. A lone woman in a big city needs to be careful in any case. But when you're stalking Liechtenstein, that can be really dangerous.
No one forced Catherine. She knows what she's doing, and she can take care
Yeah,
of
this was all
herself.
before we went to
Remember how
Gutenberg.
she dealt with the guards at Trotsky? She's braver and more dangerous than half my old band.
Aye, but what if someone tries to...
Catherine sharpens her dagger every day. It's always razor sharp. Whoever tries will regret it sorely.
Fair.
What should I know about the devil?
Just look at him, and you'll know everything. His face reveals it all.
I heard he's a nobleman, but he doesn't look like it.
He's the captain of Znojmo, but it's true that he doesn't care much for noble manners. He has a foul mouth, and he's anything but chivalrous in a fight.
What draws you to him, then?
We're both different. That's our strength. I'm in charge when everything goes according to plan. When things go to shit, he takes over. It often turns bloody, but sometimes victory is more important than honor.
Okay.
Who is this Kubyanka, anyway? How long have you known each other?
We were defending a castle and hiding in the woods together. But he was always closer with the devil.
Can he be trusted?
Aye. When he's sober, that is. When he gets drunk, it's better to keep an eye on him. He's known to provoke until fists start flying. Did you see what happened when we first arrived?
You mean how they wanted to cut his throat for cheating at dice?
Aye. It's best not to play with him. You'd be better off tossing your coins straight into a pile of shit.
Alright, let's go ahead and set off then.
What awaits us at Malashov?
A short but nonetheless dangerous battle. In the best case scenario.
And in the worst?
Things go to fucking hell. And our worldly cares will be over. So prepare well. This really won't be easy.
Let's do it.
I'm ready. For anything.
Good. The task won't wait. In the evening, I'll assemble the men, and then we'll talk about what's next.
Is there anything else that we want to do?
All right. I'll come back in the evening.
Fine. But be on time. And no boozing.
Says this guy. Journal. Should just be... we have the tournament. But what time is it? I guess we could just learn stuff. For the time being. Is it Samuel? No, it's Catherine.
I'd like to learn if...
All right, I won't trouble.
Thievery and stuff.
You know how to get your hands on... I wouldn't dare.
If only you went. Listen up.
We'll go ahead and spend some money. This stuff might come in handy, being sneaky and stuff. Because it sounds like
I'd like
it's
to learn
not
a few
gonna
tricks
be
from you.
a
What
straight
would you
on
like to know?
approach.
How do you manage to get in?
You just need to know. You all.
You'll have to...
Listen.
So we might as well exhaust all this stuff. Okay, then this guy.
I'd like...
It will take acquiring, especially so.
I want to know how...
Eh bien, the French chevaliers are like stags, agile and majestic. They move with the grace and elegance of leaping dolphins. I will tell you about dolphin and shark some other time. Now, I will show you. Allons-y, mon ami.
I wonder if we'll gain any levels here. I don't know if we did already. 29, we're about to max out swords.
I'd like
finally.
to learn...
It will take acquiring, especially now. What would you...
Let's do marksmanship.
You will never be that good, of course. But I will show you how to do it. Allons-y, mon ami.
Yeah, that one didn't gain us any levels. How do you get over here?
Greetings!
I'd like to learn.
It will take some acquire, especially
What else? Let's do, we haven't really used pole arms, so let's do scholarships in
Baron
case we
Brabant,
have any
tell me a
checks
little
there.
about the world beyond the borders of our little country.
Mon ami, the world is so big and there is so much to tell, but you want to hear what to choose from that inexhaustible fount of wisdom. Opportunity is like a ladder. You must seize it with both hands, climb to the top, and knock it down behind you.
Knock it down behind.
Remember that, Jeune Henri? And now, let me give you another piece of wisdom. Allons-y, mon ami.
Yeah, we still got a while till evening. How is our nourishment and energy is pretty low? I thought something gave us more energy. The walnuts do. Schnapps do. Okay. We can take some schnapps then. Then the pear, I think that's rotten. So we could do the dried apples. It's only 2 nourishment though. That's 14. Give us 1 more energy as well. Now these guys have skill books, but is that because we've already learned everything?
I'd like to learn.
Where's that way?
Again?
Always!
Fine.
Okay, you want something from us. There's somebody up here. Who's in here?
My humble respects.
Oh, goat skin.
I'd like to learn something.
What do you want to know?
Isn't this the guy from Kutenberg?
Thanks.
I'm pretty sure it is. That's the guy who we thought was spying. Or who was spying.
I'd like to learn.
What do you want to... Fine.
Alright. Well, that guy's exhausted. Thievery 25. Did we get any? We got 4 perk points. 1 in Vitality. If your health drops below 25 points, you get a plus 25 bonus on armor. Okay. Marathon. You consume 20% less stamina. Be 20% faster when sprinting. Let's do Never Surrender. Skills, we got Scholarship. The entire map is revealed, showing all settlements, fast travel spots, hunting grounds, caves, and other interesting places. That would have been really nice to get earlier on. Use scholarships in a skill check. Pray at shrines, crosses, and similar places. Protect you from mortal injury and restore 25% of your health. Healing effects of food will be doubled. Let's do Explore. Then we have Thievery. If you are wanted for a crime, you gain bonuses on Strength, Warfare, and Agility. One-handed on its own. I guess we'll do Hidden Pockets. I don't think any of that stuff's really important at this point. And then swords. We have Gladiator or Cleaver. We'll just use Gladiator. That's about done anyways. We don't ever really use the Cleavers at this point. Well, I think it's time to go talk to Zizka, and maybe we'll just wait with him at this point. Unless there's a couple other skills we want to learn, but I feel like we're doing pretty well. But before we do that, we are going to go ahead and end things here. As always, I appreciate y'all for stopping by, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Until then, peace out, y'all.